We now join programming in progress.
How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
Ghost of Frankenstein.
My son, would you destroy that which I, your father, dedicated his life to creating? What if it had another brain?
Whose brain?
Your brain.
Power! What good is a brain without eyes to see?
I warned you that you might regret this action.
Well, we warned you.
All right, it's time once again for Got Any Comments, Wise Ass. And I'm going to do these in consecutive order. I don't know if all of these are Wise Ass comments.
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
just the order we got them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a reference to something we talked about. I read a comment from someone who was all excited they just found our podcast.
Right,
and this is Mike Herman responding to that. Just wait until that new listener gets to Sun and sees Donnie and Roland break Thom.
Yeah.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Well, the podcast is irreparably broken at this point.
It's lucky I didn't want to break then.
Yeah. All right, so I'm still not... All right, let that load, I guess, while I do something else. Sean says, did you guys see this? Oh, Sean sent us the link to the Kickstarter for Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein soundtrack. I think our podcast is it suffers from the not, I guess, I don't know, we're supposed to be on every day or something. But
but I think if we recorded every week, that would be different. But we do a bunch at a time, so there's a lag between some of these comments. Like, the last time we recorded, the end of the world was nigh. It looked like there was no hope for humanity. And
That's true.
A couple weeks later, that changed radically.
Very true.
So I think this is partly kind of an artifact of that, in that, we did see it. It's over.
It's over now. Luckily, they got it.
Got way over there.
The next comment, Dr. Alex Zorka on Classic Horror Film Board. I'm going to try once more, in caps, to let Messrs. Evenson and Lang know about the Intrada Records Kickstarter campaign to get the blah blah blah. I know that Herr Lang is a big fan of the music. My job here is done. I'm hoping one of those days these guys will mention it. So this is it's funny, like you were just talking to someone that's in the past because it was months ago. I assume we've talked about it. All right. I don't know what this is in reference to. Chuck writes, prequel to Tom Cruise's The Mummy. My personal favorite mummy movie is Bubba Hotep. Oh, I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
They were going to make a prequel series to The Mummy, and it wasn't clear whether they
meant...
Which
it was 32?
That mummy,
was it
or the
99?
Other mummy, or the other mummy, or any of the other mummies,
Or Christopher Lee's, who knows?
Bubba Hotep's a good movie.
I like Bubba Hotep
I haven't seen
a lot.
it in a while. I think I only watched it the one time.
It was funny because it was at the Uptown Theater.
Yeah.
When the Uptown Theater was still a theater. They closed. I took the Horror Incorporated crew and a few of the cast members, and it was weird because we walked in as a group, and it was like I walked in with my entourage because I was recognized by a number of people. It was just fucking weird.
Yeah,
it was a weird feeling to walk in and I'm like, oh, people were like looking and pointing, and and some came up and like talked.
Were you in full regalia?
No, I never did that.
Oh, okay.
That was cheesy.
Yeah, funny.
And then he did
Bubba Hotep, though.
Bubba Hotep is great. I like it a lot. I've seen it a number of times.
Here's what happened to me for Bubba Hotep is I went and saw, I think it was Evil Dead at the Oak Street, and Bruce Campbell was there. And I remember going earlier. This is such a foreign idea now that I almost wonder if I've got it wrong. Earlier in the day, I went there to get the tickets, and then you wouldn't just get them online now. But
that was pre-internet,
I guess. And then I saw the guy carrying the reels
for Army of Darkness.
It was Evil Dead, the first one.
Evil Dead, okay.
Yeah, I know it was the first one because I was kind of disappointed that he was coming with that because I was like, I'd rather kind of see either one of the other ones, you know. But whatever, it was still a good movie. It's not a great movie, but it's good time.
Yeah.
And he mentioned, someone said, what are you doing next or whatever, and he's told the thing, and he's told it many times about listening to Bruce Campbell describe Bubba Hotep is so good that I think the movie could only suffer. That's my personal opinion on Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, maybe.
When I actually saw it, I was like, okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I kind of had it all.
I just felt it was unlike something I'd ever seen, right?
Yeah.
I'm always open to that. It was fresh. It was fun.
That's true.
It didn't take itself seriously. And I like Don Coscarelli's work, Phantasm and those.
I've never even seen a Phantasm.
Okay, I like those. He did a movie a few years later, John Dies at the End. It's based on a series of books, and that's fun. The books are good. It's a guy who was like, he was like the main editor of Cracked after it stopped publication and became an online thing or something like that.
Okay.
But they're really, I mean, they're like 7 inches thick, but they're very dense.
Well, that's
but
interesting
they're
to
very
me.
entertaining.
Because the early days of Cracked Online I thought were good.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Cool.
really well written. A whole
Right.
series of them. Anyway.
Bubba Hotep. Go see it.
Yep.
We both read. I mean, I don't know.
I recommend it.
Mike Herman writes, I sort of hope London After Midnight gets found. I don't know what these are in reference. This is our season finale.
Yes.
I sort of hope London After Midnight gets found because that makeup is still so spectacular and stirs the imagination in a palpable way. Yeah.
And I do too. I don't disagree, but I am of the opinion of whoever it is in the Universal Horrors documentary that says you'll probably be disappointed by it, the film itself.
Yeah, yep.
And I
kind of think that,
and the anticipation has built over the last 60 years.
Yeah.
To it can not possibly live up to any expectations.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that more or less. The only thing that sort of makes me think there's a possibility is, like we talked about Chuck Jones. Mm-hmm. His work is ancient now. 80 years ago, he was making stuff that holds up to me perfectly.
Oh, absolutely.
It's better than what you can make today.
Yes.
Because they do still make it. And
they
it's
do,
not
and
as
they're
good.
not as good.
And sometimes it's good. Sometimes they make things that are Looney Tunes that are very good.
They do, but
they're never quite.
They're
that
never
good.
going to be as good as
Yeah. Anyways, I have Cheney's vampire tattooed prominently, so Mike is bought in.
I am not arguing that it is a very evocative image.
That's true.
I just think the film itself isn't going to be as evocative as that is. That said, it's a silent film with Lon Chaney directed by Todd Browning. That was when they were both at their peak.
Yeah.
Todd Browning didn't know what the fuck to do when sound came in. Mm-hmm. And of course, Chaney died, so I don't know what he would have done with Dracula. Would have Dracula looked like that?
Right.
Probably not, because it would have been really hard to deliver dialogue, but what he would have done with Dracula, because Universal had hired him to do that, and then he died.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate
keep
because
riding that Chaney train.
Well, and that would have been a big A picture then. It was. I don't know if you've read the Magic Image screenplay in there. It's a big
of Dracula.
Yeah.
No,
it's way better. It's a big movie based on the book. Well, once things changed a little bit, they just did the play.
Yeah.
And the play is pretty weak tea compared. It's
Actually,
a dull play to begin with.
Yeah.
And then to shoot a movie that looks like a play, it's even worse. Yeah.
Well, then the other part of that is once they got to the point that they hired Lugosi, that was almost a sign. And this is just going to sound like a slam on Lugosi, but they were trying to do anything they could to not hire Lugosi.
Yeah, they did.
They eventually were like, we'll just give this guy $200 because we can't get this made any other way.
He made it known he would do it for next to nothing. Yeah. So they're like, okay, we're going to pay you next to nothing. I believe Manners got like 10 times what Lugosi did.
But it was still a sign that they were scaling back.
This was not going to be the huge... Yeah.
Of course, the movie wouldn't live up to my expectations.
There we go.
Any expectations, but sometimes the truth isn't good enough, and it's nice to believe in a fantasy.
Yeah.
The Browning-Chaney collaborations are generally pretty good, so who knows? Okay, there you go.
There we go.
I covered it. Catherine writes... Is poor Cloestine locked in Kettering's room? I don't know what this is in a reference to.
2 weeks. That's what it's referring.
Servants say the door is locked, but don't mention seeing her.
Yeah, it's the 2 weeks that she's been kept. She's still bundled. We didn't mention this, but she's still bundled in that same fucking blanket when Elsa brings her out. Did she not ever get out of that blanket for 2 weeks?
Sounds like my dog loves her banky.
Well, yeah, mine too. But they come out once in a while.
Every once in a while. Does Cloestine not have to go potty?
Does she not have to eat? Does she not have to,
You can bring food to her, I guess.
I'm baffled. 2 weeks is a long time.
It's very long. It's almost a fortnight.
It is almost. We talked about that.
Yeah, probably. Let's talk about it now. What's a fortnight?
It's a video game, isn't it?
That's right. Wild About Harry recommended you to their fans. So this is a note we got.
Okay.
You can recommend them back so your fans can find them too. I don't know what Wild About Harry is, but I'm mentioning it now, and now I'm leaving. Oh, it's about Harry Houdini.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to fall prey to this manipulation.
Okay.
But we've been recommended by another podcast.
Okay, well, thank you.
Mike Herman writes, you know, one thing that sort of seems like a missed opportunity is that Pierce didn't shave the monster's head after brain surgery.
Yes, that's another thing.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah, well, because that's been 2 weeks too.
Same.
That's been 2 weeks. So his hair's grown back. I don't know.
I suppose.
No, that's.
Have you ever
that's
gotten
true.
a really bad haircut?
Well, I'd give
It takes
myself
more than
one.
2 weeks.
I give myself one every time I cut my hair.
Oh, there you go. See.
Well, look at this. So, I mean, does this look deliberate?
I mean, look who you're talking to.
Exactly, yeah.
Chuck writes, just admiring the shape of your skull, HST. I don't know what's happening anymore. This is a comment on something. I see. It's a response. Mike Herman wrote, you know, one thing that sort of seems like a missed opportunity is that Pierce didn't shave the monster's head after brain surgery, and he replied, just admiring the shape of your skull.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Hunter S. Thompson.
Does he say that in the book?
Yeah, just admiring the shape of your skull.
To whom about
the
what?
hitchhiker, Tobey Maguire, they pick up at the beginning of the film.
Okay. See, I know the film more than the book.
So I read the book in like junior high because
Yeah,
we had to read a book.
ago.
Had to read a book a week in the advanced English class. You met one-on-one then with the teacher at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And I come up with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he's like, "You actually read that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I read it, and I fucking loved it."
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, good for you, because not everybody can make it through that." I'm like, "Oh no, this was fantastic."
I don't know if
the
I ever made
writing
it through it.
style.
Yeah.
I love his writing style, and it comes through very loudly in the movie.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is verbatim from the book.
Yeah. I think the movie's better than it has any right to be.
It is. Considering how it was made, and absolutely
Everything
all the machinations that went.
It's cool that it became a Criterion, actually.
I was stunned. And here's the weird thing is, Target had the Criterion version for years in their DVD section. I'm like,
that was one of the weird Criterion ones that you'd actually see in a store. Maybe that was the only one, because I mean, they didn't even have Armageddon.
Usually when it was like a Wes Anderson, they would have that.
Okay.
But I was at Target. I'm like, who the fuck is shopping at Target? It's like, I've been looking for this.
Yeah, true.
It's like $30.
I suppose it's got the right names on it.
Johnny Depp maybe is what it was.
Terry Gilliam, but I can't imagine
Terry Gilliam, I don't think has the cachet that.
Yeah, I don't know. Time Bandits is a big series now.
He's not a fan.
Have you seen it?
No.
He's not a fan?
No. He's like, where are the dwarves? Everybody's normal height. What's going on?
Interesting. All right.
No, I don't have Apple Plus, so I don't.
I don't either. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Ruben Herfindahl writes, "Fire will kill us all in the end." I don't know what that's a reference to, but it's true.
It's absolutely true.
And it really works in this film.
I'm terrified of being burned to death.
Really? I would rather be burned to death than drown.
Really?
Because my assumption about being burned to death is generally you die from the smoke inhalation before you get burned up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how I
still
think of it.
Would be an awful lot of pain involved prior to that. If you're on fire.
Well, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever really been on fire all that much.
No, I haven't either.
And I used to smoke. But I've been burned. I guess I don't like that. But it's like a momentary thing. And then a minute later it starts to really suck. Fuck. And then I'm mad that it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. So if I'm now then dying from smoke inhalation while that's happening, I guess I don't
I guess if I'm on fire,
Meanwhile, drowning?
Yeah.
I went to breathe because what else am I gonna fucking do? I have to breathe, and I breathed in water.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. My God, that sounds like the worst. Drowning just to me is the worst.
So if I'm on fire, I'm just gonna start breathing in as much smoke as I possibly can just to get it over.
Hold your breath till you pass out. But I feel like that wouldn't work as well in drowning because eventually you're going to breathe in that water. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can hold your breath and pass out and then breathe in water. That's all a fucking
Jesus
nightmare.
Christ. Being buried alive can't be all that pleasant either.
Yeah, agreed. I think when she first lights the lighter in Kill Bill to show that she's been buried alive, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I'm not her, and I'm not getting out.
No.
So again, I'll just hold my breath until I pass out, I guess.
Or just
the best
I
can
take
hope for.
take the ride.
Freezing sound like much of a ride.
Freezing to death sounds like it's actually pretty pleasant.
Like being shot out of a cannon. It doesn't sound pleasant, but it is a ride.
Take a ride. No, I just, it's like I'm never getting out of this. There's no way I'm going to get out of this. So
that's true. That's very zen.
I'm just
Absolutely,
accept it, and I probably won't. I'll be clawing at the top of that. My fingers will be bloody stumps from clawing at the top of the coffin. But
remember that guy? They had I don't know. stupid inventions or whatever on David Letterman. Do you remember this one? You probably are going to know what I'm saying
probably.
at some point. The guy invented a light that would be on outside of your grave, and then you could push a button, and then it would let him know you're not dead. And so he's like, well, what? How often does this come up or whatever? And the guy who invented it had it happen 2 or 3 times. But he was all through an interpreter, so it's like the comedy came from that. Why does he say that? You mean this happened to him?
Yeah.
Just 2 or 3 times. But I guess looking back, he's probably lying, I guess. Yeah. But still.
Well, clearly he was from a different country, right?
Yes.
So there's different...
that's true. Different rules.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Mike Herman writes, Bill, before you retire, I don't know what this is in response to.
Okay.
Your Cedric Hardwick impression forever. Oh, I see.
Before you retire, keep reading.
I gotta read it all at once. I stop in the middle. Yeah. Can we please get a line reading of? Oh my goodness.
Come on.
I don't know if I can do this.
See, if I can read Clothestein as Igor, you can do that.
Because this is a line from the film, I believe. I've created 100 times the monster than my father made. In your stuffiest Hardwick yet, thank you. Well, that's I think the problem right there. Yeah. Because even his face is registering the problem, but his voice doesn't care. He's just not bringing it.
No, which is unusual.
I've created 100 times that my father made.
Yes, that would have been Rathbone.
Maybe appropriate. Yeah, that's true.
And that would have been probably appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, Rathbone.
Actually, I think the line should be, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. But that's just me.
Yep, I'll try that next time. Chuck writes, a break, ? See, this is going to be perfect. This is going to
be, yeah.
Now, you boys don't take off too long, but I guess one has to gird one's loins for Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Yes, one does.
Ghost should wrap up in time for Labor Day and a good rest. Yep. How fitting. Workers of the world, unite. Make the rich pay or at least join Patreon.
All right.
And Mike writes, agreed. Just remember, Bill and Thom, that months feel like years in Trump time. Ooh. And your listeners need their off-topic Monty Python chat and Cedric Hardwick impressions.
Well, there won't be any Cedric Hardwick impressions going forward. And I'm really hoping there won't be any Trump talk either.
No, well, that's true. There's not going to be a hell of a lot to talk about. Totally lost my mind. Monty Python? I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Yeah, we haven't had one. We haven't had one over an hour. So
we could do the replacements because now the replacements are being thought of as a thing because of the Tim Walz is running for vice president.
So everything Minnesota.
So anything he apparently likes Husker Du.
Husker.
What's funny. I'm surprised to hear myself say Husker because I heard him say it, I think, or someone else say it on a podcast. That's right. I heard someone else say it on a podcast, and so now I'm saying it that way. I've always said Husker. Please. It's got a thing. It's got an umlaut.
Yeah.
Well, then we're also seeing pictures of him in front of Paisley Park announcing Prince Day. He's doing the whole thing. What's funny is he's not from Minnesota.
No, he's not.
He's from Nebraska.
But
that's good enough for me.
But he has embraced the culture here very much.
That's true.
Which is great.
He is a Minnesotan now.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think he's done a lot for the state.
Yeah.
I was skeptical at first. I voted for him twice.
Yep.
But I was on the fence at first, and then I think he's proved himself.
I very much think so as well. Yeah. I think it's weird because when you look at somebody who's running for an office, it's not always so easy to see how that all plays out. And Biden was a huge one.
Yeah.
I used to refer to Biden continuously, just to annoy a friend of mine, as nobody's favorite candidate.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was the default.
I think you're right.
And I think he turned out to be a great president.
I actually agree 100%. Yeah. I thought in 2020 is like, well, okay, this is what we got.
I have a friend that was talking to me about it the other day, and they try to diminish the office, saying, well, the president didn't really do anything. They just sign the bills that come through Congress. I'm like, if you ever needed an example of what a great president can do despite all that, it's Biden.
Yeah.
He got a bunch of shit done that he wanted to get done. And Obama, who I thought was a transformative candidate and an amazing part of my personal life, just couldn't do what Biden could do. He wasn't as good at it.
He wasn't as good at it, yeah. Because Biden, just has that much more experience.
In Congress.
So he knows how to work it.
Yeah, exactly. After all of this, am, believe it or not, going to propose a break because I'd
What?
like to use the bathroom.
What? A break? Okay.
What are we at now?
Oh, hour and a half, actually.
Okay. Because if we're going to dive into this...
No, you're right. I need to get some more water. Or
Okay.
you're drinking a Coke, which is now making me...
Want some caffeine?
No, just jonesing. It's my crippling Coke addiction.
Oh, you just like Coke?
Oh,
What
if
happened to me
your
is
doctor
this Coke
told me...
Zero? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You like it?
It's a million times better than that Diet Coke.
Oh, it is. I agree.
Yeah.
But I still
But I
drink-
only have one a month or something.
Oh,
so I don't...
I have a crippling Coke addiction.
Well, I have a crippling caffeine addiction, but...
It's not the caffeine, because caffeine doesn't really do that much for me.
Okay.
Because of the ADD, actually, it makes me focus.
No, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. It doesn't like wake me up; it calms me down.
Yep. It's the opposite with Trump, apparently. He snorts Adderall.
Evidently.
Trumpy, you can do stupid things.
Jesus Christ.
That's what they say.
That's what I've heard. He also smells like ass, from what I've heard, but that's neither here nor there.
You should get that butt deodorant that lady's always talking about on TV.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.